Today's Into Your Head podcast number 650 for Saturday. Fake disposable mugs, sexing an inanimate object, tracing the word vomit, how to prepare your home for fossilisation and increase its sale value, why it's not really January, sick versus lick. Psych versus like. I will come to that later. A Town Hall McDonald's, questioning Satanism, beginnings, middle and ends, having the universe assessed by a third party, why New Year's resolutions fail, insects who swear, and lots more. We've a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, topics. Topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. We've got topics coming out of this fakely disposable mug. I have a fakely disposable mug now, hence me saying that the topics are coming out of it. It's a fakely disposable mug, in case you're wondering, which you probably are. If you've any kind of a curious mind at all, you're probably wondering what the hell it is, this thing that I've been talking about for the last 37 seconds. What's the point in listening to something if you know? Bollocks. Why is there something wrong with the sound? This doesn't sound right to me. Sure as hell probably doesn't sound right to you. But I'm not going to start again because I accidentally belched at the beginning of this attempt. I don't want to have to redo it and not have a belch or have to put in an artificial belch. No. Anyway, a fakely disposable mug is a mug. Looks very much like one of the giant mugs that they give you out in Costa Coffee or somewhere when you get a takeaway coffee, but it's not a disposable. It's a fakely disposable. Well, you could dispose of it. You can dispose of anything nowadays. You can just say, "Oh, I don't want this anymore. I'm going to dispose of it. I'm going to put her beyond reach. I'm going to put it in the bin or a skip or something, or I'm going to leave it in the middle of a street." What the fuck is wrong with the fucking sound? Is that me? Hold on. We'll try that. Testing. Oh, Happy New Year, incidentally. It's the first episode of Into Your Head of 2013. The last episode of Into Your Head was the last episode of 2012. So for the next while, we won't have any firsts or lasts. We won't have anything. I have to stop recording now and listen back and see if that hissing is audible to you or just me, because it's getting on my fucking nerves. Two fakely disposable mugs walk into a coffee shop. One of the fakely disposable mugs goes straight away up to the checkout and says, "Hello, can I have a fill up of your finest latte, please?" And me and my friend down there as well. I should probably tell him to come up to the counter with me. You probably, if we're getting takeaway coffee, you're not going to want to bring it down to the table. I'll get him in a minute. Anyway, can we both have a fill up of your finest coffee, please? To take away in ourselves, because we are fakely disposable mugs. And the woman behind the bar, or behind the checkout in the coffee shop, rather, I suppose you could call that a bar. You could call it a coffee bar. But that's what the young people call them nowadays. It's a coffee bar. It's a bar. And the only proper coffee bar you could have in this world, as far as I'm concerned, would be one where you sell Bailey's coffee or Guinness coffee or something like that. But no. Anyway, the woman behind the coffee bar says, "Sir, you do realise that by getting me to fill up your fakely disposable cups, you're thereby Oh, no, wait, I've got the arseways. I was about to say that by getting me to fill up your fakely disposable mugs, in other words, I'm going to have to charge you more because it's takeout. But that's wrong. Takeout is cheaper than sit-in. So no, if you were sitting in, I'd have to charge you more, even though you're using a fakely disposable mug. And that would defeat the purpose of being a fakely disposable mug. Although I suppose you can't change what you are. But in another way, know. But of course, in this story, we all know that the two customers are not themselves fakely disposable mugs. We're just saying that to make it interesting. They're really people carrying fakely disposable mugs. And if that is the case, then the fakely disposable mug holder can continue to sit down and wait and just give his or her fakely disposable mug to the fellow who's gone up to the counter. There's no need for him to be present at all. That's the problem, you see. Yeah, these inaccuracies start to creep in just because I try to make the story more interesting. That's the problem. This stuff isn't as simple as you think it is, you know. I set out to make an interesting story where I go two fakely disposable mugs walk into a coffee bar, and then I realise that there's the aforementioned issue, and there's probably more issues as well. More issues than you can shake a stick at. That's what they say. You can shake a stick at the whole fucking world, though, or anything. You can shake a stick at anything that can be seen between the two horizons which surround you, the two semicircular horizons, or one circular horizon, whatever way you like to think about it. I can shake a stick at anything that I can see from here. I can shake a stick at the whole sky, although does the end of the stick have to be pointing towards something for me to be shaking a stick at? Because if that's the case, I suppose a stick would only get a very small amount of coverage, but I don't know. Surely to Christ, the whole surface of the stick is sensitive to anything it can be shaking at, rather than just the tip of it. Although if it was a magician's stick or some sort of crap like that, that would probably be dangerous. You wouldn't want, for example, a drill head whose whole surface was able to drill, because then you'd lean it against your arm and you'd be drilled to bits. You'd have a big long groove dug into your arm, but only if you switched it on. You'd have the same issue. You get the idea. Anyway, on with the show. Now, I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking, I wonder, has he finished that story, or did he just get bored of it and decide to move on? Because it seems to have had a beginning and a middle, but no end. And in fact, the middle didn't seem to have an end itself. Does the middle of a story have to itself have a beginning, a middle, and an end? Because if I remember back to my English classes in school, they became obsessed over this. They'd say, your story has no structure. So you'd put in a bit of structure into your essay, and you'd have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you'd be able to point it out to the teacher. You'd say, there's a beginning there, there's the middle, and there's the end. And you'd say, that's great. Now tell me about the middle. Does the middle have any structure to it? And you'd say, yes indeed, the middle has itself a beginning, a middle, and an end, but the appropriate beginnings and ends are not beginnings and ends that you'd put at the beginning and end of an essay. No, they're more there are more continuity links between the beginning of the essay and the beginning of the middle of the essay, and between the end of an of the essay and the end of the middle of the essay and the beginning of the end of the essay. So they're continuity links, I suppose, is what you call them. And the teacher will say, oh, that's not what I told you to do. I told you the middle has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. So they go off and change it just to humour him. And you say, oh, I changed it now. Have a look at this, please. And you say, certainly, young man. Let's have a look at this. Well, I see that the middle of your essay now has a beginning and a middle and an end. And I know you're thinking now, he's going to now tell me that the middle of the essay has to itself have a beginning and a middle and an end. And he'd say, but no, that's not what I'm going to say. Can you tell me what I'm going to say, young man? And you'd say, you're going to say, cat will always land on its feet unless you put butter on the back of it. And the teacher would say, no, that's not what I was about to say, but that's very creative. Well done. You should put that in that spreadsheet you have of funny material for tweets. You probably will at some point in the future. Anyway, no, that's not what I was going to say. Do you want to have another stab at it, another guess? And you'd say, no, thank you. And the teacher would say, that's a very defeatist attitude, if you don't mind me saying so. so. In fact, I don't care whether you mind me saying so. It's my job to say so. I'm your fucking teacher. I'll say what I need to say. I probably won't swear in the real world. You can't be going around swearing at children under any circumstances. It won't do. It won't do. If you have someone in your house swearing at children and it wasn't you, I tell you, you wouldn't put up with that crap. He'd say, come here, you, with your fucking swearing. You don't fucking swear in my house, you cunt. You get up out of there and get out of the house. Let yourself out. Just open the latch and walk through the door frame. Not the door frame itself, walk through the space made by the door frame, the dooral area. Don't walk through the wood of the door frame. I shouldn't have to tell you that. If you walk through the wood of a door frame, that implies that you're some sort of a pest that needs to be sprayed, because you're destroying my wood. It's not bad enough that you're destroying my children's ears with your swearing, but you want to destroy my wood as well. Well, fuck that shit. Anyway, on with the show. Two dogs walk into a bar. One of the dogs straight away goes up to the bar counter and says, hello, how many do you have? And the bar counter doesn't say anything. The dog says again, how many bars do you have? Bar counter. And the man behind the bar says, can I help you, sir? And the dog says, yes, your assistant here, the bar counter, doesn't seem to be responding to me. And the man behind the bar says, that's because it's an inanimate object. It's not a he, it's although I suppose it could be a he. If it was a male tree, I suppose, that the wood is made out of, maybe it could be a male counter, but it's still an inanimate object. It has no animation to it whatsoever. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. About to a heart that's true. That's an Elvis song. Don't be fooled. To a heart that's true, or something along those lines. Anyway, dog, can I help you there? And the dog says, yes, please. I was just wondering how many bars you have. And the man behind the bar says, are you from the competition? Are you being sent in here to do a bit of investigation? Not that I'm worried. I'm not afraid of a bit of competition, although I am afraid of dogs. So if you wouldn't mind keeping your distance. But no, we've just this one bar, and then we've a little one up in the private function room, but that's just a little thing in the corner. It's basically, well, I suppose it is a bar. It's just not a proper bar like this, a proper grown-up bar. It's open to the public. The dog says, that's fascinating. Anyway, I'll have a pint of your finest Guinness, please. And the man behind the bar says, certainly, sir. Do you have some proof of species? Because as you know, we only serve humans of 18 years or over. And the dog says, and then it all goes downhill from there, I'm afraid. The dog says, fucking hell, and then he eats the barman. And the barman's last thoughts on earth are, I was right to be afraid of them, fucking hell. And then he dies, and then the dog gets put down, and that's pretty much the end of it.
Into your head.
Support the podcastual arts at no cost to you. Just click through the Amazon link at intoyourhead.com whenever you go shopping for anything, even if you use Amazon UK or Canada. We'll take your weird foreign money here. We're not proud. Just visit intoyourhead.com and click on the appropriate Amazon banner.
If you would like to comment on any of the issues raised in this program, email studio@intoyourhead.com. Remember, we value the opinions of you, the humble and ignorant listener.
Matchstick cats. Matchstick cats. Matchstick cats. Matchstick cats and stuff.
Are you a cat? Or do you know somebody who might be? Then tell yourself about Matchstick Cats, Neil's webcomic. Brand new episodes at intoyourhead.com.
Matchstick cats and stuff.
I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking, You're thinking, You're thinking, oh, Christ. You're thinking, oh, Christ, or whatever your version of that in your particular religion or lack of religion is. Maybe you're thinking, oh, Satan, which should be confusing, because if you're a Satanist, surely you wouldn't use the word Satan as a term of abuse. You'd use it as a term of love. I don't know how Satanism works. Maybe it doesn't. Has that occurred to you? Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe that's why there's not too many of people living by it by choice. No. Satanism, there's a good chance that Satanism doesn't work. 8 billion people have a religion, and only 3 people in the entire universe choose to be Satanists. Then maybe that tells you something, does it? It tells you something. Surely to Christ, read something into the statistics, for Christ's sake. If a fella comes up to your door and says, hello, I'm selling these gas-powered radiators where the gas is recyclable, you can just leave the gas in and it just refuels over and over again. And you say, how many have you sold? And he says, just you so far, and I'm still working on you, so I suppose you haven't really had a sale yet. Well, that's a statistic that you need to think about. You don't just ignore it. You think, oh, he hasn't sold any yet, unless you count me, and I haven't bought one yet, and now I need to decide whether I'm going to buy one. Well, there you go. Say no more, as they say in that Monty Python sketch. He keeps going, oh, say no more. I forget the exact details. I think it's a thing where your man's saying stuff about his wife, and he's saying, oh, say no more, and reading loads of vulgar stuff into it. I don't know. Anyway, on with the show. I thought to celebrate the fact that it's the first show of the new year and we're not all dead, I'd bring to you a classic piece of journalistic work from some time ago. Why It's Not Really January, by me. The Greek god Alphamedes said it best when he said, cast not a thought for the wretched in June, for they will be dead in February. The Greek calendar, of course, runs backwards, so February is later in the year than June, unless, of course, he was talking about February of the following year. But had he meant that, I think he would have made it clear. Greek gods aren't stupid, except, of course, the Greek god of stupidity, but that sort of goes with the territory. Anyway, my favourite month of the year has always been March. For one thing, I love the military air suggested by the month's title and the fleeting reference to the novel Alice in Wonderland. For apart from that, I just find that March rolls along steadily and nicely, and before you know it, it's April, which happens to be the month I like best. Come to think of it, May isn't too bad either, if you can get around the fact that it's named after a fly. Not that I have anything against flies. Not in their plural form anyway. It's just that I object strongly to the singular, fly. I find it so obnoxious for anything to have the letter Y in it. There are plenty of common letters in the alphabet which can be combined in hundreds and thousands of combinations. So there's no reason for any of us to resort to using the last few letters of the alphabet. Especially not X or Y or Z. Let's not lower ourselves to the vulgar standards of those who suffer through their own bad dietary habits from verbal diarrhea. Even worse are those who suffer from the more practical forms of this disorder. Countless millions have been wasted, poured into holes in the ground, because certain coordinators at NASA with more influence than sense have decided to go the scenic route to Mars instead of travelling in a straight line and just veering slightly to the left if an asteroid gets in the way. Personally, I think Adam West, star of the original Batman television series, said it best when he said, ask not how the void can be increased to make time greater, ask how the existing time can be more richly employed. Admittedly, he was speaking in the context of a symposium of TV scheduling managers, almost all of whom found the statement ridiculous. But you see my point, don't you? When I was a child, the highlight of the television week was The Muppet Show, and it lasted approximately 18 minutes per episode, not counting advertisements. Yet it took almost half an hour to watch the show, despite the rewind and pause buttons having not been invented yet. This has baffled scientists for many years, and the eminent astrologist for Professor Stephen Hawking has predicted that it will continue to do so for a few more years, unless Libra makes good use of her rising Pisces moon in the south next week, which, knowing Libra, he probably won't.
Follow Neil at twitter.com/intoyourheadpod and pretend to like him at facebook.com/intoyourheadpodcast.
Monkey nuts, that's what they call them. They call them big, steaming, dolloping, shit-eating, piss-piling. This current segment may contain swearing, incidentally. You probably realised that by now when you heard me swearing. You heard me going shit-stealing, vomit-inducing. Although vomit isn't a swear word, is it? No, maybe is it a slang? I don't know. Possibly, although they had vomitorians way back in ancient civilization in the Roman Empire, so surely to Christ, if the word's been around that long, it's not a slang anymore. It's earned its way into the mainstream dictionary, although maybe it wasn't used in those days and we just decided recently to start calling those things vomitoriums. I don't know. Did we find a sign somewhere saying welcome to the vomitorium? A fossilised sign from I don't know. Can you have fossilised signs? I suppose if it's a wooden sign, that's made of cellular material, organic material rather. It's made of organic material, and if it's made of organic material, surely to Christ it can become fossilised. But if it's made of stone, it's pretty much already a fossil. It's going to be there for billions upon billions of years, although not forever. Don't get that into your thick head. Stones don't last forever. So if you're one of these young people now buying your first home and you think, oh look, there's a home made of stone, that's going to be there forever. No, it'll be there for some time, but it won't be there forever. A wooden house, on the other hand, if you play your cards right and you do your maintenance properly, that'll become fossilised and it'll turn into basically stone after millions of years, and that should have a higher value than a stone house, I think you'll find. But no, we're getting away from the point here. What was the point? Was it monkey nuts? Oh yes, the point was monkey nuts, which means we're fine, because if I say monkey nuts, just means I'm looking for a way to get going on anything. I don't have a point, at least I didn't when I started. I got on to one. That was a pretty clever point, I think you have to admit, about the fossilising houses. You can buy a wooden house and it should be worth more, although nowadays, this year they're introducing a property tax on houses, so it's in your interest here in Ireland anyway, to make your house worth less, or look like it's worth less to whoever's deciding these things. Not that you want to con them or anything, just make your house worth less. Get out a hammer and smash some things, get some extra cats and don't let them pee wherever they want. I don't know. Does a person who's valuing a house take into account the dirt? I don't know. Are they just valuing the building? Are they valuing bricks and mortar and wood? Do they say, oh, there's a brick. Now in the local shop, bricks are €2 each. Now let me estimate how many bricks there are in this house and how much plaster there is in the ceiling, although that's not reusable. The plaster in the ceiling and the walls shouldn't have any value because it's not reusable. Although now that you mention it, the Town Hall in Bray, County Wicklow was once going to be taken apart by an American and exported over there and rebuilt stone by stone, but they decided they found some way around this. They didn't want to get rid of their town's central historic building, so instead they got a McDonald's in it. There's a McDonald's in the historic Town Hall in Bray now, although recently it's being upgraded to McDonald's with a McCafe in it, which I suppose is posher. It's better than nothing, I suppose. Everything's better than nothing, though. If the universe being here is better than there being nothing, although who's to say? I don't know. Outside of the walls of the universe, there might be still nothing. If we could pierce our way out through there and have a look at it, we could do a comparison. We'd have a look out through the wall of the universe, see what's outside, see what nothing looks like, and see what not nothing looks like, and see compare the two and have a proper comparison, an honest comparison. Maybe get a third party independent person not of this universe in to look at it, or someone who's not from this universe and not from outside the universe. That might be difficult, I don't know, unless there's a further nothing outside the nothingness. Maybe there's something outside of the nothingness that's outside of the universe. Has that occurred to you? It probably has. It occurs to me every time I'm awake past midnight. I think about these things, and I think about gas bills. That's about it. Incidentally, if you want to support the show, intoyourhead.com/tipjar, or use my Amazon and other shopping links, all at intoyourhead.com. A new and improved website released recently. There's now a proper site for the extras and reruns feed. A proper site. You don't just have to go into YouTube, iTunes, although you should. You should subscribe to both feeds in iTunes and rate and review them, because that'll help me. It'll help me. And if you're not here to help me, then what the fuck are you here for? Are you here to listen to a show? You probably are. You're probably sitting in your car right now listening to me thinking, what the fuck am I listening to? Well, if you have a proper MP3 player, you can look at the label and description. There's a detailed description of this show in the MP3 description. I think you'll find I'm very good about this. I label everything properly nowadays. Everything has a label. Even the labels themselves would have labels if I had anything to do with it, which of course I do. I have everything to do with it. It's just me here doing this, but you know what I mean. You can't just decide to bring in a new system and when no one else is doing it. No, because you start looking weird. People start thinking you're a weirdo. Are you a weirdo? They'll say. And you'll say, no, I'm not a weirdo. Why do you ask? And they'll say, I ask because I think you are a weirdo, and I want you to reply and say yes and make me feel better about saying something, because it'll make me feel like I'm right. I've had confirmation. Well, that's what everyone wants. They go on Facebook and they'll say, I think you're a weirdo, and they'll want you to like that, because they want confirmation. They want people to think, they want people to acknowledge their rightness and like it. Like. That's all we do nowadays. Licking and liking. Licking being, I suppose it is. If you have the word sick and then you have psych spelled S-I-C, I presume there's an L-I-C. It's a bit like, but if it's like sick, I suppose, and psych, then that doesn't mean the same thing as like. It means something completely different. So a bad example there, I suppose, and a bad concept overall as well, I have to admit. But you don't realise these things until you go down that road, and then it's a bit late to do a return there. Well, maybe not, but it's illegal. You can't be doing returns everywhere. No, there's good reasons why you can't just turn back and go somewhere else.
Monkey nuts! That's what they call them! Monkey nuts! Into your head! Monkey nuts! That's what they call them! Big steaming piles of monkey nuts! Into your head!
I thought I'd end the first show of 2013 by saying hello, just for a change. Hello. You should always start the year the way you intend to continue with. So I'll start by saying hello. I'm not going to make any New Year's resolutions, because you can't keep those up. If you have a New Year's resolution and you're still doing your New Year's resolution 11 months later, well, that's inappropriate, because a New Year's resolution isn't for the end of the year or the middle, it's for the beginning. You're getting, no wonder they don't work. The same reason diets don't work. If you decide, today I'm not going to shove anything down my gullet like there's no tomorrow, but then you think, wait a minute, there is a tomorrow, so why would I do that like there's no tomorrow? Well, that's exactly the point. I'm not going to do that like there's no tomorrow, but since there is a tomorrow, maybe I should shove stuff down my greedy gullet, and then straight away you're off the diet until at least tomorrow, and the same thing happens again tomorrow. So no New Year's resolutions, no dieting. Just get up off your arse and get up on the treadmill, which I go to do. It's not a resolution though. I'm just going to do it. Just do it, as Nike say to the young people. Nike send people out into the streets and they say, "Hello, are you a young person?" And the young person says, "Yes, I am indeed. What can I do for you?" And the person from Nike says, "It's not so much about what you can do for me, it's what I can do for you. I can sell you these runners. Just do it. Just buy it. A bit like drugs, you just do it. Because if you sat around questioning it all the time, you wouldn't do them because you'd find out you shouldn't be doing them." It's the same with runners. Anyway, good morning.
Sit, Laurie. Sit. Good cat.
IntoYourHeadPodcast.com.